following program on Ada Derana 24 is classified as PG. It is intended for younger children in the company of an adult. It may contain some suggestive dialogue, infrequent coarse language, some sexual situations, or some moderate violence. Viewer discretion is advised. The following program contains opinions of the participants and does not reflect the views and beliefs of the Derana Media Network. The network believes in a safe space for all ideas to be expressed without any censorship and on its duty to create such a platform for free speech. Viewer discretion is strictly advised.
Hello and welcome to another episode of TPS, where we discuss about the most relevant and pressing conversations that the general public has to ask from the political leaders and who has the responsible to act upon it. So over the past few episodes, we were discussing about the local government elections and also about the post-local government election situation. And today we are going to dig deep into the current political landscape in a broader way, as to what the people are thinking about the local government elections and how does it feel with other political parties about this current political landscape. Is it chaotic or does it need some change? So to discuss all about the current political landscape, we have two invitees, guests today here joining with us for TPS. So towards my right, we have Ms. Madhuri Ranasinghe, Executive Member of Dinana, Dakuna. Welcome you to the show.
Thank you so much.
And we have to my left Mr. Barath Arullsamy, Vice President, International Affairs and Communications of the Democratic People's Front, Tamil Progressive Alliance. Welcome you once again.
Hello, nice to having you.
Yes, so welcoming these both individuals for today's episode, we are going to dig deep into the current political landscape. So now with all these local government elections that we had a couple of weeks ago, and everyone deciding as to what we need to take forward and how it's going to play around with. So first I'm going to direct this question. It's actually going to be a general question. So first let me direct it to you. What do you think about the current political landscape after the post local government election situation? Do you feel like it is something that you were looking forward to, or is it the inevitable that has happened?
Once again, thank you for having me. And also, we have witnessed a kind of a statement made by the people, a clear directive to the government, wherein which the people are very much watchful than the earlier elections. I remember when I came to this program before the elections, we told there will be a massive drop in the voting pattern.
Exactly.
And we urged the public also to participate in their democratic practices. So here there are twofold. One, before looking into the election results, we need to see after the election, formulating local government administration had become a big issue for many parties.
Right.
So this is what we were advocating prior to the election, or prior to when the president was in opposition MP. Even our party leader Mano Ganeshan, everyone advocated we should change this system, which is very much complicated.
Yeah.
Because we would have observed that one person has won, but the others are trying to form the government. Exactly. So it is not a democratic practice, and it's also, though it is legal, it's not unconstitutional, though it's not ethical, because people has given a clear mandate to opposition or government despite the differences, but turning the plate up and down means that we are still stick with the same old system. Because in 2024 presidential election, people wanted a change, not change on the heads, but on the system. So the government had ample opportunities, even though there is a court directive to hold this election, to make the necessary changes. But unfortunately, the government also rushed to have election. They would have felt that their popularity may go down. But it is evidential that people has given a clear indication that people are being very much watchful on the government's action. And analyzing the election results, yes, there is a increase in opposition vote base. Yeah, SJB vote base has come up, SLPP vote base has come up, and there is a big decrease in the government vote base. So this is an indication for the government. It is enough the talk. People need action. So now the government has got all the mandate. Now they have the president, they have the parliament, now they have the local government. So there is no excuse for the government to give any, delay the reforms. So the reforms are twofold. One is economic reforms and social reforms. So now, since the government has got the ground level support as well, and also with an alert that people are not 100% or blindfoldly supporting the government, they wanted to have this check and balance. So in that context, the election results are very much evidential that people are very much concerned about the political landscape and also in the economic landscape, and also they wanted something tangible than just talking. So we as the Tamil Progressive Alliance, we have secured more seats. There is a drop comparatively than the last election, 2018 election, because the political landscape is much different. But though it is, we managed to get tally the numbers which we had earlier. So it is that is evidential that the people in the upcountry are still believing the Tamil Progressive Alliance parties, especially the Democratic People's Front and the NUW and UPF. So it is for us, it is it is still our ground is stable, and it is also a message for us to we need to think differently, innovatively. So that is the take on our idea.
Exactly. So whatever the ways that the political leaders have worked around in 2018 is surely not going to work in 2025.
Exactly. We have to update.
Exactly. So that's actually a big take-home message that most of the political leaders should take from these local government elections and also the current political landscape. So I want to ask the same question from you. Now, in terms of the civic movement that you are part of, what do you feel like is the current political landscape in your point of view?
Well, thank you so much for having me here today. It's an honor and pleasure to point out what I think and maybe my political movement, our political movement is about.
Yes.
First of all, I would like to go back to 2022. So where we had this Aragalaya and we chased away, people chased away a president who had more than 2/3 of the parliament and who was very powerful at that time. What we need to understand here is people are kind of looking for a new political party, new political culture, new politicians, and people are looking for options. They are looking for new options, new faces. They are kind of trying to reject the old people. What again we need to understand it, Sri Lanka is going through a bankruptcy at the moment, and most of the people, especially when you look at the economic perspectives of the society, middle class is shrinking. Most of the middle class people don't have the same disposable income they had prior to the crisis. So this is what is driving this movement. We have to understand that this problem is not just about the political culture, it is also more about the economic situation of the country. What happened in 2022 is, even though we had an economic crisis, people understood it in a more political sense, that political leaders are the responsible one for this, they are accountable. Yes, of course, they are accountable for it. But again, they thought that, okay, the former leaders are not capable to do it, they are corrupt, they are not at their mindset to drive this country towards a better culture. And people are, I feel like most of the voters are like lost at the moment. Our political movement, what we talk about is, most of the problems in Sri Lanka is economical. People need more economic freedom. People need more economic means to move forward. As a movement, we believe in Sri Lanka is inherently leftist. They have more leftist mindset. They have more leftist ideologies. They have more leftist demands. But to be honest, almost all of us, like even you, me, and people who are watching this, they have more capitalist dreams. They need even if you speak to one more person from the middle class who's working 8 to 5 or 9 to 5, their dreams are like, buy a new car, build a house, maybe get a promotion, maybe get more income. These are all more capitalist dreams. So, when it comes to Sri Lanka, we are not that wealthy at the moment, and we don't have that money to have a larger per capita to ensure that everybody has a car, everybody has a nice home, and we are bankrupted at the moment. So, as Dinana Dakuna, we believe we need to, I'm very happy that this government is actually reducing the expenses, and they are moving forward in a, as they say, less corruptive methods and all of that. But they are not focusing a lot on how to increase income and how to increase the wealth in this country. This is what we should talk about. Like, as Dinana Dakuna, we believe we need more right-wing policies for the country. We need to make sure that we are earning more income so people can have their dreams come true. People can be happy. This is what everybody needs. At the end of the day, they want to be happy. They want to have their dreams fulfilled. That's what as political leaders also, we need to understand this is what people need. And at the moment, they are in a mindset that, okay, former politicians are wrong and we need more new faces. If they need new faces, I think that's what we should do. We should come up with new faces. We should come up with new policies. We should come up with new demands. We should come up with proper culture. We should be more accountable for the people. This is, as I already discussed with you also, we won't see the pre-crisis or pre-2018 era here. It will be a new normal.
Exactly.
With this government going through and all of that, it's going to be a new normal. In political sense, I believe that even in PP coming to power, will be more in like people had no option at that time. So they opted to a new party, a brand new party who wasn't in power before. That's actually a very normal consensus. They were looking for a brand new perspective. So here they are. NPP or JVP led NPP were never in power. They are new to power, new to governance. So that's what people saw, and they came to power. And what they are trying to do at the moment is, my personal view is, they are not clearly understanding how to handle the situations, how to handle the pressures, how to handle the political dilemmas in Sri Lanka, and they are, and at the end of the day, they came up with a lot of unrealistic expectations also.
Yeah.
If you look at their political or election promises, you see, even when they were telling these on media and all, I was also wondering, how are they going to fulfill this with the current situations? They can't. That expectations were not realistic. But what they are now experiencing is people are demanding it. Why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you accomplishing this task? It's been 7 months. You haven't done this. You haven't done that. So that's what we saw at LG local government elections.
Yeah.
Most of the people, if you look at the voter turnout, it was historically low.
Exactly.
Which means that people are not happy with the current government and people are not happy with the options they already have. So it's going to be low.
Yeah.
What I believe at the moment is even the current government, either they are working on good faith and trying to bring more good culture. They need to understand is people's needs and expectations have to be met, and they are more economical.
Yeah.
This is Dinana Dakuna's perspective. We need to look at this in a more economic sense. How to, if you look at the future, in 2028, we have to start repaying our debts. How are we going to do that with 3.5 economic development in this year?
Yeah.
It's going to be a massive challenge, to be honest. And how are we going to accomplish this? This is our point of view. As Dinana Dakuna, we believe we need to work hard and fast. We don't have much time. It's 2025 now. Then it's already 6 months gone.
Yeah.
And we only have 2 years left in our IMF agreements also.
Yeah.
So we are going towards another, maybe, I don't want another crisis in this country, but at the end of the day, we might be going to another crisis. So current government has to understand that they have to move on in a bigger speed and a faster method to ensure that economy is up and running, more economic growth is there, more income is coming, more FDI is done, and we are in the road to ensure that we can pay the debts by 2028. So this is
Cut
our...
it short.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you so much for your very elaborative answer. It had a lot to think through as well, because it has a lot about economy and as to what we need to think through as well. So before we discuss more about the current political landscape, let's take a short commercial break. This is TPS. Welcome back to TPS. So we were discussing about the current political landscape in terms of what these two individuals think through along with their political representation, and also as individuals as per the post-local government elections and how it is in the current situation. So since I was actually discussing about the current political landscape with you, I also wanted to ask, I believe most of our spectators are wondering, or if they know, they might be aware as to what Dinana Dakuna is. But maybe let's give a little bit more perspective and thought for them to know about the civic movement as well. Yes. So please explain about the civic movement.
Yes, thank you so much for that question. So Dinana Dakuna, as it implies, it's more about the right wing. And as Dinana Dakuna, we believe this country need more right wing policies in terms of political, economical and social perspectives. As I explained in my earlier answer, we are more concerned about how we are going to repay our debts in 2028. I'm not an economist, but we have several economists and economic specialists in our movement. And as they imply, with the current situation, it will be very, very challenging for us to pay those in 2028. So we want our spectators to understand the situation at the moment, especially on the economic sense. And with the economic sense, what I'm talking about is we as a country need to look beyond the welfare state that we are currently operating on. When we say welfare state, I believe this might be a new word for many people, but if you heard about clientelism, which is more like how you give different gifts, monies, favors in terms of political advantage, Sri Lankan political landscape is infested with clientelism, which is actually brewing more of a crony capitalism in the political landscape. This is what we have seen so far. Sri Lanka hasn't experienced proper capitalism in the last 76 years. We have seen certain perspectives in former Prime Minister John Kotalawala's time and all of that, but then again, when it comes to former President J.R. Jayawardena and all, it all led to a very, wrong way of capitalism. People haven't seen many right-wing politics, proper right-wing politics in Sri Lanka. Even if you look at United Nation Party, UNP, which is known as a right-wing political party, since the voters are more left-leaning, they are also leaning towards more left-leaning politics. When you look at most of the things that they have done in the past, especially when it comes to Gambudanya and all of those policy level things, they are more leaning towards center-right or maybe sometimes towards the center-left as well, which I believe and which we all believe should change. And we need a proper right-wing political movement to ensure that we will have a wealthy country. I'll give you a small example from the global market. So if you look at India, India has surpassed Japan recently from their GDP value. But when it comes to their population, they are actually at, if I'm not mistaken, 2,880 per capita, which means per person, that's their income, 2,880 per capita in India. So which means the people are still suffering. They don't have enough means to go by. People are still poor because it's a large population, billions of people, and it's still under the poverty. But if you look at China at the moment, their per capita income is about 13,000, which means that they can actually spend. So if you look at Sri Lanka is somewhere around 3,000. That's why people say that Sri Lanka has better living conditions than India. And we have lesser than China. So what we need to do is make sure that more people will have, per capita income is increased. We have more wealth. We have more money. We bring more FDIs to the country. We invest more into the private sector. And of course, we decrease the state involvement. Like if you look at, I'll give you a small example. So this current government is trying to still hold on to this white elephant, Sri Lankan Airlines. Why? Why? I'm asking why. Because it's creating lots of harm to our, taxpayers. People are paying more taxes than ever, and they are feeling this into a loss-making SOE. So this needs to go. These state enterprises we need to find proper solutions to ensure that it is profit-making. If it is not profit-making, we need to ensure that we are restructuring the situation and bring more profits. As someone representing the right-wing politics, I actually say state should not do business. It should be minimal.
Okay.
At the moment, Sri Lankan state is doing a lot of business. They should move on. They should move on and do less business. Even in this government, they are trying to do more business. Why? Why do we need to go and put more highland milk outlets around. Give it to more private partners. Give the distribution to more private partners. If you look at CEB, it is loss-making at the moment. Keep the electricity generation to government and give the distribution to the private sector. You can at least reduce your expenses. What happens is, as I told earlier, the clientelism part, when you have these state businesses, what you do is you come to power and you give more jobs to people. So you can come to the power next time. They will vote for you. This is what clientelism means.
So I'm going to take you from there actually. So in summation, what is the movement you're representing and how it works? Not about how it works, we got a description about it. So what is ideally the movement?
So ideally the movement is all about right-wing politics. We are representing the right-wing politics in Sri Lanka. We are emphasizing the country that we need more right-wing policies to ensure that Sri Lanka is wealthy and people will have their dreams come true and they will be happy. And we are coming out of bankruptcy, and as I said earlier also, we are also emphasizing on that we are maybe going for another crisis in 2028 if we don't act right now. So that's our basis.
Thank you so much. I believe most spectators are well aware about what Dinana Dakuna is. So I'm going to ask this question from you. Now, you representing the Tamil majority as well. So in this context, now, given this current situation, there are certain situations where mostly the NPP with the water system and also SJB trying to tackle and make alliances and rekindle and a lot going on. So in this kind of a context, what do you feel the Tamil majority is thinking through about this current political landscape? Are they happy as to what happened in the local government elections and also this post situation where it's a little bit chaotic, more like it's not properly aligned?
Well, when it comes to Tamil community as a whole, it is comparing with presidential elections. The regional parties have gained their momentum in both northeast and the central part. And we should give the credit to the government because, you know, they are good at cutting down the cost in unnecessary cost. But unfortunately, the people, especially the Tamil community, which had more confidence on the government, on this social inclusion, that is not materialized yet. So that is a big problem we do have. To give a few examples, now when we are talking about North, the biggest demand of the Northern Tamils are like they are, you know, done away with the PTA. So these are not just mere slogans. This is the government also ensured that they will be, you know, abolishing a PTA as a whole. But unfortunately, yes, we do agree kind of a counter-terrorism measures should be there with this geopolitical tension. But, you know, PTA is a draconian law which empower the executive to take decision which the judiciary has to. So this should be, you know, detention should be determined by the judiciary, not by a police officer or the president of the country. So on that context, it is still in pipeline. It is not resolved yet. And also the aspiration of the Northern Tamils, right? Their land rights, their recognition in administration. So and also the aspiration of the diaspora community. And you would have observed recently a refugee who came back to country was detained and he was not granted bail as well. This is here there is no, like I observed minister had pointed out, it's a law. It's not just about changing law, it is just giving an executive directive. You know, any person who has this UNHRC refugee standard, it should be welcomed back to the country.
Yeah.
So this is the guarantee which was given by this government, but government has failed to do so. But we hope that government will fulfill these promises which they have given to the Tamils in north and east. And also when it comes to upcountry Tamils, Malayalam Tamils, our biggest aspiration is more than administrative or more than, we are different from a kind of a aspiration of northern Tamils. We are looking into an economic independence. This is where by the system we were oppressed for more than 7 decades. So coming out of that is a Herculean task.
Yeah.
So we have seen the government is saying yes, we are going to give that, this, everything, but nothing has been materialized yet. Our biggest demand is our land rights. Land rights in the sense to obtain land plot for their housing purposes. When you give an economic independence which was suppressed by the same system, the people will more contribute to the economy, because we are not asking anything just for namesake. We have already contributed for the upliftment of the economy. Even in the crisis, even in the pandemic, our community has shed their blood to uphold the economic condition. So but I highly doubt that government has done nothing yet tangible. And also the allocations, as I told you earlier as well, it is all totally dependent on Indian grants for the housing and education. So we have to come out of that. So as a whole, in the Tamil community perspective, the government has to work more. People may say, government is 6 months or the presidency is only 9 months. When you take a 5-year spectrum, so almost 15% of their time frame is gone. So we need to understand the value of time. So the government, I don't say tomorrow they should do or within a month they should do, but they should be very vocal about their plan. Okay, this is your demand. This is what we are expecting to do so. So I don't see there is a strategy from the government. Because we are always, even though we represent the opposition, we always wanted to work with the government for our community and for our country. So that is the strategy. So when the US tariff problem kicked in, our party took the initiative to speak to all the opposition. Our party leader spoke to President Andrew Kumar Dissanayake directly, called for an all-party meeting, and we wanted to have a strategical plan. When it comes to country, forget about all the political differences, we have to work aligning as one entity. This is all we are aspiring for. But unfortunately, after the meeting, the foreign minister was, giving his comments like, it is all like uncalled meetings, and there are like a lot of criticism. So the government should understand all can have plan, but work to get it strategically implemented. They should work with the opposition also, and the opposition, we are not for the sake of criticizing the government. We wanted to make sure they are accountable for their promises. So when it comes to Tamil community, the government is still not delivered what we have requested for.
All right, thank you so much. So it is always good to know about the perspective of the Tamil community as well. So let's take a short commercial break while we dig into a final conclusion about this current local government and the political landscape. This is TPS. Welcome once once again to TPS, where we were discussing about the post-local government election situation and the current political landscape of Sri Lanka. So I'm going to direct this final question to both of them about the way forward, what we need to focus on and how our objectives and goals should align in terms of their individualism and also as per their parties. So I'm going to direct this question to you. Now, we were discussing about how the Tamil community was thinking about this situation and how you feel about the current political landscape. Now, all with this hustle and bustle, it's evident that we need to not only focus about the local government elections or all this chaos that's going on. So in the way forward, what do you feel like the political leaders, the people who have the power, should really focus and dig deep into?
Well, it's not only, people may think it's only about social growth or economic growth. It should work parallelly. You know, we have to understand the geopolitical situation. I always emphasize this government has three challenges. One, their party like NPP, JVP themselves. And secondly, their taxation and economic policies. And thirdly, the geopolitical relations. So as a country, when I come from the third point, as a country, you know, our negotiation with many countries, let it be with America, EU, Japan, China, or India, or Russia, we had done some immature dealings or relations, which has been detrimental for our relationship. So now it is time for the government to work very closely with all these nations without aligning with anyone, just to make on interest-based geopolitics. And also they should understand the, you know, say for an example, when it comes to economic. Now India recently, they had their deep water harbour in Kerala. This Colombo port was very famous for our deep water harbour. Now India directly, you know, most of the Indian shipment come to Sri Lanka, then goes to India. Now India has invested and they have done their own port there in India. So it is a competition for us. So now we have to work more on this C2 transportation. So as a government, the government should understand or refer the successful case stories. Now we are only focusing on our cheap labor, and we are looking with an investment opportunity. Until today, almost 7 months, we have not got any foreign direct investment. So seeing, just evaluating our competition with India, India has a 1.5 billion market. They are more credit worthy and they have all the resources there. But when it comes to us, we are recovering from our bankruptcy, and also we have lot of red tapes, especially on investment perspective, our land reforms and employment labor reforms. So these two elements should be immediately reformed. If you don't have labor reform and land reform, no investor will come. Then when I'm coming to our taxation policy, you know, our tax net should be covered everyone. Even I remember President was initiating and encouraging people to pay tax, but only 1/3 of the population is pay tax. The others, they can't, lie. So tax next should go to everyone. So because when we do observe a lot of people buying cars nowadays. You know, it doesn't mean it's not rational, the car tax is expensive or anything. We should encourage people to buy. That's a tax income for our country at the moment. So the taxation policy and our economic policy should be very strong. NPP as a whole, as I told you, and there comes the social element. So they should understand, they should work with all the communities. Despite it's Sinhalese, Tamils or Muslims or Christians, they should work with them And all these communities had been discriminated by the system in various incidents. So to patch up that itself, it is a big task for the government. So now I'll give a small example. When we work with only our cheap labor, or if we fail to invest on our future, then it is going to be a problem. Take Korea for an example. Korea invested heavily on their industry, then in education. Our industry is also collapsed. Our education system is also collapsed. So because only because of having a degree doesn't mean you get a job guaranteed. So innovative jobs should be created. For that, we need innovative markets to be invested. So at the moment, yes, we do understand there is no FDIs coming in. We should empower the local businesses to flourish. So for that, government does not have a policy. And also we need to have we can infuse things like, get outsourcing from other countries, at least to make production in our country, or upscaling the skills of the workforce. So these are few things where the government can work on infusion. Then they can think about the innovation. So all these things can be done by a strategy. So if the government is going only based on, this anti-corruption or reducing public spending, will not going to save us as a whole. Those who have corruption charges, those who have been filed with their corruptions, they should be punished. So that is different program at all. So government can't, just rely on that and do politics every week. So what I observed, every week there will be a topic. The government, the opposition will shout on that topic. The government will provide solution. This is not going to work and save the country. As young politicians, we are also aspiring to make this country as a better place and a competitive market for our future generation. For that, we are ready to even support the government on their innovative plans. So that for that definitely the government should have a proper strategy, which they should transparently tell the people, because people wanted transparency.
All right, thank you so much for that wonderful take-home message. I believe most of our spectators got a lot through it as well. So I just want to ask one final statement from you, because we're running out of time as well. Why do you believe that, other than political organizations, movements like you really need to be in place in this kind of a current political landscape?
Thank you. So I believe when it comes to political movements, political parties are usually fueled by ideology and the movements. If you look at recent, like if you say 2015, there was a different trend. There was this lawful government or good governance trend. It also came through a political movement. So I believe, as a movement, at the current situation, now people are feeling like, okay, the way country is going, what we are feeling, how we are affected is through corruption. That's okay. But as a movement, I believe in future, people will gradually understand it's beyond corruption. It's beyond corruption, and there is an economic factor to it, that we are not doing economically well, and we are not economically performing progressive, or maybe we don't have progressive economic policies to ensure that people are wealthy and they have more income to spend. So this is why I believe political movements like Dinana Dakuna is quite important at this moment. And also, we are on a journey to ensure and promote more right-wing policies to our people, citizens, especially young people. They need to understand that if we want to have more income, if we want to have more wealth, if we want our dreams to be fulfilled, we need proper economic policies. I mean, political senses, economic senses, social senses, all go in hand. So we as a movement, we want to promote this ideologies. We want to promote this mindset among our voters, especially among our young voters, because they are the future of this country. And I believe most of the youngsters today are understanding this, because unlike in our times, maybe unlike in our parents' time, youngsters are more exposed to social media. They are learning about AI, they are learning about robotics, they are learning about biotechnology, they are learning about how people in other countries are living their life. So this is why people are now comparing themselves to why we are having this, and why people in Canada, or maybe why young people in America have more money to travel the world, enjoy their lives, and why we can't have that. So this is where we come. We come and say, yes, we can have that. Think about this. Think about how we can bring more income to this country. Think about how we can earn more money. Think about how we can become wealthy. Think about how we can bring more FDIs to the country. If we want to be technologically forward, we want to think in that manner. And also, this is a mistake that most of the governments has done. When it comes to most of the governments, they think about today. They think about what is happening today. They are thinking about what's generating income today. They don't think about the future. They don't plan ahead. If you look at India, look how they work towards the technological revolution that they are having at the moment. They started it 10-15 years ago. Look at how people, if you take top 10 IT companies, CEOs, almost all the senior management are Indian born, Indian origin, Indian descendants. So they've accomplished it.
Sorry to cut you short from here, because we've done with the time as well. So thank you so much for your take on that, because we really need to know about what these kind of movements have in play for this current political landscape as well. So today we discuss about the current political landscape, and it was a thought process to think out of the box as well. And I believe this situation where we discuss about the current political landscape from both their perspectives pave a lot of way. So I want to thank both of you, Ms. Madhuri Ranasinghe from Dinana Dakuna Civic Rights Movement, and Mr. Barath Arullsamy from the Democratic People's Front Tamil Progressive Alliance for joining us.
Thank you.
We will see you again with another episode of TPS, where we discuss about the burning questions of the general public that matters to all of us in our future.
Second, don't you tell me what you think that I can be. I'm the one at the sail, I'm the master of my sea. Oh, ooh, the master of my sea. Oh, ooh. I was broken from a young age, taking my soak into the masses, writing my poems for the few that look at me, took to me, shook at me, feeling me, singing from heartache, from the pain, taking my message from the veins, speaking my lesson from the brain, seeing the beauty through the